Welcome to Cantina Vizsla. For the safety of the bartenders and any other patrons, remember to keep all arms, legs, tentacles, or any other extremities you may have to yourself at all times. So come right in, grab a drink, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Coming to you from the Panic Room in the crap part of the cantina, I'm Sparrow, and with me, as always, is a man who some say is really just a voice in my head. All I know is I call him Stan.
Yeah, we were going to save that twist for the 100th episode, but here we are.
I don't know if it's actually true or not. I'm really confused by that. Maybe by the 100th episode, I will have done enough research to figure it out.
Maybe, and it's some of the connection issues and recording issues we've had are really confusing. They're all just a voice, too.
I have no idea what anybody said. It could be I put on these headphones, and maybe it's just all a ploy to hear myself.
Maybe I'll wake up and it's all been a dream.
I took the red pill.
That's it.
So, how has your week been? I mean, it's getting a little nice, maybe, hopefully.
Yeah, it's been nice and springy down here. Rain has kind of gone away for a little bit. Weather is nice, so we get to enjoy it until it turns 100 degrees in a week or two.
I will gladly take that. I went through and had a lovely 70-degree day on Friday, and then it plummeted, woke up the next morning. It was 30 degrees with a high of like 42 with a 15-mile-an-hour wind. That was bitterly cold.
Very nice.
Yeah, it was a perfect way, Start off the weekend. Oh, it's nice. Look at that. I can go out in a T-shirt, not a problem. And then less than, 6 hours later, not nice anymore.
Well, yeah, I was looking at your notes, and just from talking, you had an interesting weekend.
Yeah, went through, and my cousin had his bachelor party, so we went sporting clay shooting, and that was Saturday morning. So when I said it was cold out, I was also outside going through shooting shotguns with everybody. So that was interesting. It was fun. It would have been a little bit more enjoyable and not if it wasn't so cold out. But other than that, it was a lot of fun. And then growing up and everything, we just always had LAN parties and everything. So that's what he wanted to do. So we went through and actually, believe it or not, we got out HD TVs and hooked up our original Xboxes. And we had 4 original Xboxes, all had 16 controllers, all hooked up and playing Halo 2 on the screen.
That sounds a good time.
It makes us realize on how bad the gaming or the graphics were when we're going through and we're trying to see movement and we're trying to figure out if it was just something in the background or if that's actually a person. We couldn't really see. You just see this blurry block moving through, and I'm like, man, this used to look really good. Now I'm like, I can't tell if that's an actual guy. Is that just a rocket firing at me? What the hell is it?
Yeah, some of those older games just really don't stand the test of time. Like GoldenEye, you ever go back and try to play that? It is a mess. But did you see the Master Chief Collection's coming to PC?
I did not see it was coming to PC, but we were talking about hooking up the Xbox Ones to actually be able to do that and play the Master Chief Collection.
Yeah, Microsoft's been doing a lot of cross-play stuff, so I doubt they'll do it for this because mouse and keyboard would just destroy controllers. But who knows? There might be cross-play at some point down the road. But that's a good collection.
Yeah. The only thing the only thing I discovered is I went through and took my original Xbox. I had a dead 4th controller port, so we were playing a man down on my team. But going through and not playing it in forever, and then where you have your reticle sensitivity from playing it every day, I almost had it cranked up to the max, and then I'm going through and I'm like, why can't I aim or hit anybody? And it's going through and auto tracking different people running by as you have 16 players on a map, and I'm like, all right, well, what is going on? And went into the settings and realized I have it cranked up to 8 or 9, out of 10, and the default's 3. And I'm like, well, let's crank this down to like 4 or 5 and actually make it a little bit more reasonable, since I haven't been playing it every day for months on end when I actually set this up. So
yeah, what you really got to do is just go into settings and then go all the way to the right and then find the box that says get good and click that.
Yeah. Yeah, everybody else was. And you know how I got good? I went through and...
How's that?
I told my cousin to take another shot.
There you go. But how was a teabag situation? Was there a lot of that going on?
Yes, there were. Well...
Okay. Well, you can't have Halo without it.
Well, we had that. We had shots, and we had rage quitting within one capture the flag, so...
Very nice. Well, that sounds like a bachelor party I could survive. I can't imagine going through some of the ones I've been through at my age now. It would be sad.
Yeah, but it was a good time. It was enjoyable. I just needed recovery time from going through and staying up and like, oh, yeah. It was a long night, that's for sure. But
yeah, we were a day late, but we have a live Sparrow, so that's the trade-off.
Yeah. So, how was your week?
Nothing near that exciting. Just been grinding, getting ready for Darth Revan, seeing all of our Revanlations coming true. So that's kind of exciting. It was Territory War week, and we have found renewed glory in Territory Wars. Thanks to our General Ploon showing us the light. We've, 3 in a row now we've won?
3 or 4. I want to say 4.
Yeah, it's cool. The last one, man, that was exciting. We were fighting old gadgets continued. So if any of you guys are out there, awesome war. It came down to the last 15 minutes. We were just all on rushing, trying to get in. We were trying to assign winning teams on Discord. People in the game were just Leroy Jenkins. We were all yelling at each other. It was crazy.
We had a little bit of a communication breakdown in which we thought we had to be very efficient to actually win. And then someone did the math. They're like, no, guys, we just need to clear. And then it's like, oh, everybody just started like bombarding it because we're like trying to go through. All right, we need a team to get full points for this. Otherwise, we aren't going to be able to win. And everybody's like, wait, no, we just got to clear. And they're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, but up to that point, it was very point by point. It was with the bonuses on the clones, and they were preloaded and just tearing up teams as they were coming. So we really needed a strong team to come in and clear the win for us. And it came down to the last 15 minutes, but we were able to get it and win by 40. So that was probably the most exciting territory wars we have had. And it was just a lot of fun.
One of the ones that we've had, the closest ones we've had in a long time. Right when Territory Wars came out, we had another one that was kind of like this, but it was like the second time we went through and had it. But yeah, it's been a long time since we had a good one, and we have a very good, very tough matchup this go around. We have another very Territory War focused guild we're going up against. I have to go through it. I think it's Return of Jedi Star. I know it's Jedi Star something.
I think maybe Jedi Star Darkside. I'm looking it up now.
Darkside of Jedi Star.
Yeah, that sounds right.
But yeah,
that's who it is.
Yeah, they're up there in the Territory War leaderboard, so it's going to be a tough matchup. So we'll see how it goes.
I need one more win for the achievement tier, and I'll be happy.
I didn't get that far yet. Shush.
Oh, we should be this pretty close.
Yeah,
we've been in the same guild forever.
Well, I was thinking the Jedi.
Oh no!
The quest
just a plain old normal achievement.
Yeah, then we'll be the same one.
Yeah,
but yeah. So I mean, that's kind of where we're going through. And speaking of the game and everything, how have you been going through with your Darth Revan farm? How you're there?
I'm there. I finished. Got Karth up to 7 stars, and I'm just now I'm just waiting.
Oh man, I mean that's pretty impressive. We'll get into a little bit because just because you have everybody at 7 stars doesn't sound like that's going to be enough this time around. So
yeah, I was in between that. I've been hoarding these crystals, trying to make sure I was prepared for Revan. I got there, so I was sitting on a hoard of crystals. So I figured, why the hell not? Let me have some fun with some of these marquee mega packs and see if I could get my droideca up. Yeah, it's I bought 5 packs. Got 17 each time, which, as the drop rate showed, that was the highest percentage. I didn't get lucky one way or another. Yeah, really at the end of the day, I did the math. It was 152 crystals a shard, which and insane. It's not the best bargain you can get.
Normal shipments are what, 80 a shard?
Yeah.
For the first tier shipments, and then it drops down as soon as they become farmable for quite a while. It's like, what, 40 or 50 a shard? I
think it's 60.
Okay.
But either way, for a premium character, I don't feel too bad about it. I'm slowly starting to build my horde back up. And
yeah, I can't do that. I see something shiny and just keep refreshing and going through and buying gear as I need it, try to go through as quick as possible.
Yeah. And plus I want to save up some more in case a Galactic Chase comes back.
Yeah.
I ended up getting Ebon Hawk up to 5 stars. I was able to unlock his reinforcement ability. Haven't used it at all yet. Don't know when or where I will, but I have it just in case.
Hey, maybe a Grand Arena coming up here.
Yeah,
it does
maybe.
have ships in this time around. But yeah, my week was not really as eventful, but kind of put me in a very interesting spot for what I was doing as soon as some of these announcements came out. So I decided to focus on some Gear 12 Plus pieces and characters and try to finish them out. So I actually went through and have Grandmaster Yoda and Ness completely Gear 12'd out now.
Oh, nice.
So, I mean, it was characters that needed to be done, but they needed like that, just the stun gun salvage, or they needed a golden eyeball to kind of fill out those last pieces of the gear. So I started doing that, which, at the time it didn't seem like a bad idea. Like, go through, add it, get those teams up. I'll use them all the time in Territory Wars and Grand Arena. I'm not completely upset about it. It's gonna make me go through and have to farm a little bit more, I think, for this Darth Revan event, but that's okay. I will go through and gladly take that sacrifice. It was going to happen one way or the other. I was going to get these characters up. And I was able to get the Ebon Hawk kind of unlocked.
I got to just push the button, man. Just push it.
Yeah, I got all the shards. I just did not activate the Ebon Hawk because no point for the extra GP for me right now. It's not going to... Granted, they updated the Grand Arena matchmaking to not include ship GP anymore, but I have no use for it currently, so it's just going to sit there right now. I'm not going to worry about it, and I will carry on from there. But that was what we did this week. What about Star Wars itself? What do we have in the news there?
Nothing too crazy. John Boyega had a birthday this week, so he was out there on Twitter getting a pretty cool First Order Stormtrooper helmet that was like Spider-Man themed. So there's a tweet of him opening it up, and it's so crazy to hear him talk. And he has a English or British accent.
Yeah.
And you're so used to hearing Finn, and man, he does a American accent pretty good. Much better than I could do a British accent.
That's probably like the first time the actor that plays House is very British. And then he goes through that whole series, the American accent and everything. And I'm like, he did like an interview, and I'm like, Hugh Laurie is the actor. And I'm like, oh man, you don't sound like House at all.
All right. You're faking that.
Yeah.
Quit it.
That's not the real actor. You have a voice double or something.
Yeah. Well, anyway, happy birthday to him. They announced the date for the Episode 9 panel at Celebration. It is going to be on the Friday, of the show. I believe that's the 12th, and I am going to do everything I can to be there. So probably as soon as we stop recording, I'm going to go line up and just get in line. So I'm just super excited about that. And Resistance wrapped up its first season. And I've got to say, I'm on board with the show now. It has picked up. It is hitting all the things it needs to hit and going where I want it to go. And I like it.
Yeah, I'm getting there. I'm in the last couple episodes. I was further behind than I thought. So catching up so far, it's getting there. There's a couple animation quirks that we were talking about earlier of them like walking or just the flying of the ships in general that are kind of a little wonky that throws me out of the experience. You go through and you want to get invested, and then all of a sudden you see something like that and you're like, that looks a little odd there.
Yeah, hopefully they can, I don't know, smooth it out a little bit for the next season. But maybe next episode we'll have a little spoiler section on the show. I'm kind of want to get your opinion on a couple of things. But again, yeah, I'm on board with it now.
Yeah, I don't know if you also saw all the stuff about episode 9. It seems like there is a trailer out that they showed the Disney investors.
Yeah, we talked about it last week, I think.
But I keep going through and I'm seeing more and more about it, and they keep describing more of it. So it definitely seems like you should be getting the trailer there at Celebration. I don't see how you wouldn't, the way everything's been lining up.
If they don't have a trailer there, people are going to riot. Just absolutely riot.
You're going to have Chewies going through, storming the floor with troopers.
It's gonna be rough.
But yeah, so let's start getting into the game, because man, we had one jam-packed week with quality of life updates, announcements, stuff hitting the game. So let's go over the calendar watch, and then we'll get into what they started announcing all this week.
All right, man, I've got so many tabs open here. Let me find the calendar. Okay, we are recording on the 11th. We are in the middle of... I'm sorry, we're the 18th. I can't even read my calendar anymore. In the middle of the Artist of War, we've got Chimera event going on. We've started a vanilla territory war. No bonuses or anything crazy like that. We've got a Grand Arena starting. Again, just a standard 5v5. We've got some Rebel Roundup and Imperial Fleet tomorrow. Looks like we have a contraband cargo on the 20th. And then the 21st, we have a territory war with bonuses and just... Endurance Smugglers Run and Forest Moon events, and just a really conspicuous blank spot there.
I think we pointed out that blank spot about a month ago.
Yeah, and I think we pretty much have it confirmed.
Yeah, so we can go right into it, because there wasn't really much other than that. So the announcement is Darth Revan. Shocker, right?
Big surprise. Darth Revan is coming to the game.
Yeah. They said you need Bastilla Shan Fallen, HK-47, Juhani, Karth, and Canderous for the event. There was no puzzle, just an announcement, and not going to lie, I think we ruined it for everybody.
No, it was a puzzle. There were letters that if you put them right next to each other, they would form words. And if you read those words in sequential order, they would form sentences.
You had to figure out the language. Man, that language
they would convey a message that you had to understand.
But yeah,
real tough.
Yeah, I think we ruined it for everybody, because we called it a couple months ago, month and a half. Last month we called it. As soon as they went through and said February wasn't the 6th month, we're like, well, obviously this lines up perfectly. Darth Revan's going to come up in March then. We're just going to have a little bit of extra time as far as farming goes of these characters. So we saw the calendar. We pointed out the 21st exactly. So we kind of called out the rough date of it. We did call out the exact characters we were going to need, because we were not fooled. We did say HK was going to be needed. I did mention I thought it was going to be I thought it was going to be harder than Jedi Knight Revan. They did specifically point out it is going to be a very hard event. And finally, we also pointed out that HK-47 was going to get a rework, and it wasn't done earlier, probably because in his kit it's going to reference Darth Revan, and you can't go through and kind of basically say, hey, Darth Revan's coming by having specific items within his kit that call that out. So we did a very good job, I think, as far as that goes.
Yeah, I mean, I still thought this would have been a little bit early, but hey, anytime we can get extra time, I'm all for it. So I can't complain too much.
Yeah, that was kind of our discussion on. We actually were batting back and forth. I always thought it was going to be a little bit later. You thought it was going to be a little bit earlier. And the divide was basically, you thought it was going to be earlier. The bottleneck was going to be shards for the characters. I was thinking it was going to be a little bit harder, requiring more gear levels and giving us more time to farm the shards. And that's smart too, because people that can't get the characters, they're not going to try. Well, think about it this way too. I kind of thought about this just a little bit earlier today when they were announcing this, that I think we're running into an issue with people with Jedi Knight Revan starting the game and basically buying all those characters up, and was able to go through and get a huge advantage by unlocking Jedi Knight Revan with all the Old Republic characters, because the gear level requirement wasn't high enough for that event.
Yeah, maybe.
You go through and start off the game and you had Jedi Knight Revan, you park it first, and you sit there day after day, and no one's going to have an answer to that because they cannot counter that. So, I mean, I can see why, because you run into some big issues. And I mean, the Yoda event would be basically trivialized because you have Jedi Knight Revan, Bastilla. You're like going through like the Jedi that you have there, and then you go through like, oh, Farm Phoenix, and then you add Kanan and Ezra to that team. And you're like, oh, jeez. It's a very good team in general, let alone early game when everybody's running Phoenix and you're sitting there with Jedi Knight Revan.
Yeah, it's definitely a new game for new players versus when we went through.
Yeah,
we're going to address a little bit that a little bit later too. But did you see this trailer?
Yes, I did.
Man, say what you will, CG's trailer game is on point.
Their trailer game has been like on point probably since. What was
all
the first?
Of them.
Well, all of them, they pretty much came out. I'm trying to remember the first one. Was that? I'm trying to remember if it was Jedi Knight or Jedi Training Rey. If she had a trailer, or if the first one was CLS. But either way,
yeah, there was one that was on Geonosis, and they were just all running each other. That was real cool. Kind of panning from character to character.
Yep.
But yeah, this one here, they released it, and man, it just reeks of KOTOR. Mm-hmm. They've captured that game perfectly.
Yeah, had a lot of interesting characters that you encountered in KOTOR also. So maybe we get some in the game. Get some more.
Yeah.
Scattered out. Scattered out.
Yeah, maybe.
Scattered out. Not going through, just sprinkling them in here and there. Not all at once, trying to force feed a certain era down everybody's throat 24/7.
Yeah, I'm ready to move on from KOTOR. If we don't get any other characters, I'm fine with that. This is, you done good, Pig.
Yeah,
good.
Yeah, they needed to go through and just spread them out. Going through Jedi Knight Revan, if they went to someone else and then came back to it, I think it would have been fine. But yeah, full year of KOTOR is a little extreme.
Yeah. Another interesting point, when they first released this trailer, it ended, or referenced March 21st as the date this event would go live. They had to retract that, and they had a little thing. Previous version of the video went live earlier today that conveyed the date of March 21st. This was posted in error, and the date is not finalized at this point. the event could start on this date, but there's still aspects we're finalizing. We can't commit to a date unless we are absolutely certain we'll go live. That said, the event is likely to start in the next 1 to 2 weeks, barring any major issues. So that's a pretty hefty window there, but unless this thing is absolutely on fire broke, I think it'll be the 21st.
I don't think it has anything to do with the event. I think it has everything to do with Darth Revan's kit.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. Just all of it in general, just being on fire.
Well, I mean, they went through and fixed Finn, only discovered that they broke a different section of the raid. So, hey, good news is we found a fix for P3. Bad news is the kit will not work because it creates an issue in P1. So we scrapped that. We're back to the drawing board.
Yeah. Hey, that's fine. As long as they take the fix in and put tank sim rating in relatively close at the same time, I won't care. I'm so tired of the tank.
Yeah.
Make it go away.
Yeah, seriously, that event is rough right now. But we kind of got down there on a tangent here. I wanted to ask you. We went through with the trailer. We saw that. We saw basically it was a hint to the HK-47 a rework at the very end, which was really cool.
Yeah.
In the announcement for this event, it says very hard event. Chewie, when it came out, it said very hard, and it specifically called out well-geared and modded characters. C-3PO was listed as a difficult event, have your Ewoks well-equipped. Where do you think that leaves us for this event?
I think it's going to be tough. I'm aiming for maybe 1 or 2 Gear 11 characters and a strategic Zeta, good mods, and some RNG.
Okay. Man, their wording and everything, I do not think it's going to be as difficult as Chewie, which was that Gear 11, Gear 10 needing RNG. I was kind of thinking it was going to be closer to the... Man, C-3PO, I mean, I had the Ewoks pretty well close to geared up to that level also. Man, I'm hoping Gear 10... decent mods, and then I think it might be the Zetas that go through and make a difference. If you're able to spend those couple Zetas on that team, you can get by. But I don't know. I'm hoping Gear 10, because that seems like a nice little sweet spot for like a journey event like this, where you aren't going through saying, well, you need the gear levels like extremely high because you've had the characters for forever. But that gear level is going to be high enough where it's actually going to require people to work towards it and not unlock the characters and then not touch them again after they're 7 stars.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the kit, I wouldn't mind if I had to put gear on Bastilla or HK. They seem to be pretty well tuned with Darth Revan, so I'll end up having to gear them anyway. So if I had to prioritize, I'd definitely go with them. I'd put some gear on Karth first. Juhani.
Juhani's the odd one out on this Old Republic team. Canderous has a spot. Karth has a spot. HK and Bastilla obviously have a spot with their reworked going through calling out Darth Revan. Juhani, I'm starting to see people go through call out and say she has a spot in a Jedi team, but you have to have her at Gear 12, and she has to have some pieces on her, and she has to be modded well. And
that can be said for anybody.
Yeah,
you know, I don't want somebody to have to work that hard just to make work.
Yeah,
that gear is much better spent on somebody else.
Well, what are you talking about? You did gear up Grievous.
Yeah, he's my boy though,
and he needs all the Gear 12 pieces to become useful because he gains all the health. So,
but he has a special unique. Make Stan happy.
pot calling kettle.
Put status on it.
I don't want people having to gear up someone to gear 12 just to make him usable. Didn't you just do that? All right. But, yeah. So, I mean, Juhani's the one character in that group that you're going to have a difficult time actually finding a team to put in. I think she does fit in with a Bastilla team as that force taunt at the beginning of a match, but not the best option, I don't think.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. We got a week to do this. If you can't do it right away, don't go nuts and gear up everybody and smash it the next time. I plan to run this thing a handful of times. You know, I'll just piecemeal my gear and levels up and try to just bare minimum squeak by.
I am on pace, very much on pace to go through and get Darth Revan without... It looks like I'm going to have to buy a 25 shard pack of the weekly shipment pack of Karth, and that's it. The way my farming has been going. So I seem to be doing very well and on pace to do this. Granted, I'm not going to be able to get them right away. I am looking towards basically the last day or two of the event if it starts the 21st. If it's later than that, it drops down how many shards I need and how much time I'm going to have to be able to kind of play around with the event. So it's very possible I'm going to go through and kind of... I'll be watching a lot of YouTube videos, watching and listening and asking questions of people and how they went through, did the event, what are their gear levels, what are they modding up. That way I can go through and actually build out mod sets for my characters. That way I'm ready to go into that event as soon as I can with the 7-star characters. But
awkward silence. Yeah. Sorry, I was looking up a listener question. Yeah, keep on going.
All right.
I'll be
yeah. So I was going through. I mean, it is very possible to go through and do that. I'm still hesitant. I'm nervous about it, but we're going to carry on and go through that. And we kind of tease these. I don't know if you have them up. The HK-47 rework and the one we really weren't expecting, the Fallen Bastilla Shan rework.
Yeah, they kind of hinted at it, but yeah, I do have them up, and we'll start off.
I do not remember them hinting at Bastilla Shan. I remember a lot of hinting towards HK-47, and then we saw the Bastilla Shan listed as a rework, and I'm like, man, that's really weird. And then I started going through and thinking about it, and I'm like, well, I guess if they're going to do Darth Revan synergy, it makes sense on why they held it off for this long. Basically adding unique, which is the synergy to Darth Revan. So I was like, well, that makes sense. It just you had to have her in there to begin with. So I'll have you go through and read the kits or what's added to the kits, and then go from there, because I think both of these characters add a good wrinkle to existing teams, even if you aren't going to be able to get Darth Revan.
Yeah, well, I'll start off with Bastilla Shan Fallen. She stays Darkside, Sith support, and a new tag, Sith Empire tag. She is losing the Old Republic and gaining the Sith Empire tag, which is interesting because we may see some other characters gain this as well. Strong Sith support who inflicts a large number of debuffs, including Shock, Fear, and Corrupted Battle Meditation. Abilities, the Sith Assault Basic, deals special damage, stays the same. Their Special 1 Wild Lightning stays the same. Then she gets a Special 2 called Fear. And Fear, final text, inflict fear on target enemy and another random enemy for 1 turn, which can't be copied or dispelled. When each of these fears expire, inflict offense down, critical damage down, evasion down, speed down, expose, and stagger for 2 turns, and these effects can't be resisted. All other enemies inflicted with offense down, critical damage down, evasion down, speed down, expose, and stagger for 2 turns. And the fear debuff, you miss the next turn, you can't use abilities, you can't evade, increase your cooldowns by 1, and fear expires on taking damage from an attack. Whew. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely gives her a little bit more of a boost, and you thought she was useful already.
Yeah, but that's not all. Her unique one, Corrupted Battle Meditation, can now not be dispelled. So it's going to get on you and stick. There is no known cure.
That's what she said.
So unique 2, Sith Apprentice. This is a Zeta Bastilla character and leader slot. Have 50% defense. They've added potency and tenacity and gain foresight for 1 turn. So that's going to help more of these things. And she has another new unique called Force Bond, and this is the one that directly ties to Darth Revan. Final text, if Darth Revan is in the leader slot, Bastilla and Darth Revan have plus 70% max health and 70% health steal. Darth Revan also recovers protection from Corrupted Battle Meditation, and enemies inflicted with Corrupted Battle Meditation can't inflict debuffs on enemies when they use an ability. This excludes raid bosses. If Jedi Knight Revan is on the enemy squad, Bastilla gains advantage and foresight for 1 turn at the start of Jedi Knight Revan's turns. So that's going to keep her from being marked. So this is just, looks like custom made to go against Jedi Knight Revan teams. Like they're just doing everything they can to shut that meta down.
So and I think also it's going through and shutting down this meta if you don't get Darth Revan. Because by having this character, that old Traya team, Traya, Nihilus, Scion with Darkside Bastilla and Thrawn, seems like they could already counter Jedi Knight Revan fairly easily if you mod the characters correctly. And then you throw a rework like this where a better unique and better abilities to counter Jedi Knight Revan's in there, it's going to make that countering Jedi Knight Revan even easier with a Traya team.
Yeah, true. Yeah, very true.
Which was my thought about it. I'm like, well, we're going to get Darth Revan to counter Jedi Knight Revan, but also these old school Traya teams are going to be you're going to be able to use them very easily if you go through to counter them, especially in territory wars and grand arenas when you're going through up against a Jedi Knight Revan team. You're going to have multiple counters now to go up against them rather than mirror matches. So like I said, if you don't get Darth Revan, so they're adding some flexibility to that, which I definitely do like.
Yeah. Yeah, the only thing is, if everybody's switching to Darth Revan, who are they going to fight? Mm-hmm. You're going straight back to mirror matches because nobody's going to run Jedi Knight Revan.
No, it's going to be rock, paper, scissors. As soon as you have I bet on offense that the Jedi Knight Revan team's going to be able to just plow through the Traya team still. So it's going to hopefully get back to more of a rock, paper, scissors matchup where you can climb with one team. Another team may hold better on defense, though.
Yeah, hopefully. I'm not super confident that's going to happen just yet, but we'll see.
I'm not super confident about it, but the more counters there are to a team, especially a higher end meta team, the more likely a rock paper scissors meta will appear.
Yeah, it will make for some interesting territory wars in Grand Arena, no doubt. Mm-hmm. All right, so let's move on to HK47. This is a little more controversial. It's a pretty major rework, and they came out and had to explain their reasoning why they did this the way they did. His leadership ability really made him a powerful character, but dangerously close to being just super OP. So they had to kind of take it back to the drawing board to keep him relevant. So, we lose a little bit, but I think we're going to gain some too. So I'm not too upset about this. And to be honest, I haven't used HK as a leader in anything relevant in a long time, other than a territory or a grand arena cleanup crew.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So,
defense.
Yeah. So HK47, Darkside, he is dark. attacker, droid, and he's got that new Sith Empire tag. Abilities, these are named great. Basic, request, die, meatbag. Deal physical damage to a target enemy and gain offense up for 2 turns. This attack has plus 30% critical damage against debuffed enemies. Special 1, Havoc. Deal true damage, ignores defense but can't critically hit to all enemies, and half that amount an additional time for each debuffed enemy. Then inflict tenacity down on all enemies for 2 turns. This attack deals 20% more damage for each Jedi enemy and can't be countered. That's interesting there. Special 2, Assassination Protocol. This is a 9-turn cooldown. Final text, dispel all buffs on target enemy, then deal physical damage to that enemy. This attack can't be evaded and deals 100% more damage against Jedi. If the target enemy has Death Mark or Fear, this ability's cooldown is reset. This ability starts on cooldown, and cooldown is reduced by 1 when an enemy is inflicted with Fear. So you make the enemy inflicted with Fear, attack them, and you can just keep using this thing. So that's pretty cool. And his new leader is targeted elimination. Final text, droid allies have 30% critical chance, 20% critical damage, and gain 10% turn meter on a critical hit. We'll be resetting and returning all ability materials that were used on HK's leader's ability. So I don't know if I'm going to power this back up. We'll see.
I'll power it back up with using my purple ability mats, but I won't put the Omegas on there.
Yeah. Depending on how many I have. I don't know. HK's cool too.
I never have enough Omegas, so.
Right. All right. And here's kind of a surprise. He's getting 2 Zetas. We saw that leaked image or the thing on the provided footage where it showed him having 1. Turns out he has 2. Unique 1, self-reconstruction. When it expires on an enemy, HK-47 recovers 5% health and 5% protection. When HK-47 uses an ability during his turn, it deals 25% more damage if the target has Death Mark or Fear. Okay. That's not blowing my hair back or anything, but it's neat, I guess. And unique 2, loyalty to the Maker. Final text. If HK-47's leader is Darth Revan, HK-47 has the following. Plus 50% defense, offense, potency, and tenacity. 30% critical avoidance for each Jedi enemy. Cooldown of Assassination Protocol is reset the first time another Sith Empire ally is defeated. Enemies with protection up can't gain bonus turn meter. So that's a big one there.
Yeah. I was going to say, his kit, to me, it sounds really good.
Yeah, that multi-Zeta looks pretty good. I don't know about a self-reconstruction. Those little chip increases in health and protection, it's good for kind of eking out a win in arena for a bunch of mirror matches. But for general use, I really kind of stay away from them. Yeah,
and here's my thought as far as, once again, if you do not get Darth Revan and you have Jedi Knight Revan with mirror matches, it seems like he could plug into a Jedi Knight Revan team in place of maybe Bastilla or Hoda or General Kenobi and help you get through those mirror matches a lot better when you're climbing on offense.
Yeah, maybe. Because you're going to lose that protection up bonus turn meter thing because it's not Jedi Revan, or it's for Darth Revan, not Jedi Revan. Mm-hmm. But yeah, these sound pretty cool. Now we just need to know what Darth Revan's kit is and how they're all going to tie together. But it sounds, at least on paper, 2/3 of the picture revealed pretty damn strong.
Yeah, I was going to say he does look very strong. He does look really good. So it'll be interesting, that's for sure. I'm curious to see what Darth Revan's actually going to have now as we go forward to kind of see what's happening. And then the final thing, I guess the other thing is this team appears to have a very heavy Zeta requirement. There's going to be, say, Darth Revan has 3 Zetas, HK-47 has 2, Fallen Bastilla has 1, I mean, there's 6 Zetas right there, and that's only... I mean, that's 3 characters on the team. You could easily have another 1 or 2 Zetas for the rest of the characters on that team. So that's a very heavy Zeta investment team.
Yeah, and I think we're going to see that more and more going forward as Zetas become more
prevalent,
easier to get. It just makes sense. They're going to make us spend them more.
Yeah. I mean, it's bound to happen, so I was hoping for them to slow down a little bit because I would like to go back and add some Zetas to some characters, but I will get there eventually. So we got all that information today. We got a little bit more of a hint here. We got an update to interactions with Deathmark, Taunt, and Mark. It's a slight deviation. Basically, Deathmark is getting a little bit of a bump. So, just like when you have a taunt up and you mark someone with Darth Revan, you can go through and bounce back and forth between the character you marked and the character that has taunt. Now, Deathmark is going to act the same way. So, if you have a Deathmark, Taunt, and Mark, you're going to be able to select either one of those characters, or just Deathmark and Taunt, and you can actually get around that taunt by having Deathmark on a character. It's a little tweak, kind of is hinting, I would imagine, hitting more towards Darth Revan. Having Deathmark or something on it.
Yeah.
In his kit.
I would think so.
So, it can't wait. I'm getting excited. We should be seeing stuff real shortly. As far as his kit, event, and everything, it just get me really excited to go through and get this character out.
Yeah, if we would have waited one more day or two, we probably would have had a kit to talk about. But
it'll be out the day before.
Yeah, we've got 2 shows worth of stuff already, so we gotta keep on moving.
Yeah, so I mean, we had all that, and you would think that's enough for the week, but no, they decided to drop the quality of life update on us.
All right, how's your life? We're about to make it better.
Pretty much, and I really enjoy the condensed down version of the buffs. They're a little bit smaller. The breakdown of like what gets applied on how it pops up and then drops down, I'm really enjoying that.
Yeah, it cleans the screen up. Yeah, sure.
The only thing I've actually run into an issue doing that, which I think is very weird, is it will condense down the buff of the contract character that you need for a bounty hunter team, and won't keep that icon up. Sometimes that'll actually drop down into the condensed version.
Yeah, I hadn't quite noticed that, but yeah, that would be annoying.
I only noticed it because I'm going through trying to get all those contracts done for the quest, and occasionally it'll happen, and you'll have a little blue arrow up there, but that icon is gone, and I'm like, that seems like a really weird one to actually condense down.
Yeah, I like most of the UI changes. It's messed with some of my muscle memory here and there when I'm trying to sim for the mod things. I think I accidentally sliced the mod once, upgraded what I didn't want to. I was just trying to find the pieces for it. But other than that, it's been okay.
I do like the interface as far as finding gear and how it actually breaks down. It is taking a little bit of getting used to, but I do like the way it's actually laid out now.
Yeah, it looks good. I guess one of the biggest changes was the raid sim rewards. They finally implemented raid simming. They released the rewards. I've seen guilds kind of go both ways on this. I saw Ethan, you've been on the show a couple times. He did some math, and it looks like simming works out better for the majority of the guild at the expense of the top players, which makes sense. I mean, that kind of seems how it would work, and that seems how it turns out. But the rewards you get is you get 10 Han Solo shards, you get 830 guild currency, 300k credits, and a mystery box that rewards a rank 11 through 15 item. You can get a full Carbonti, full cuff, full one of those Mark 6 dealies. That's the technical term for it.
Droid Collar, Fusion Furnace, Nubian Disc, all those chance of them.
Yeah, you can get the salvage for those. So it's not bad stuff.
I said, I wish it would have been a little bit more currency over the Raid Han shards, but I mean, I'll take it. It's not bad, and it kind of always a thing. It depends on your mentality. If you're a top end player getting those top end rewards and can raid every day to be able to pull off those rewards, then yeah, this isn't the best for you. But if you're a guild player, it's better off, and your guild will progress faster and better by simming this raid.
Yeah. Now we're still doing it our way we talked about before. Is we have a rotation. Everybody takes turns getting first place, and the rest of the guild is just kind of left to RNG. However you fall, you fall, and nobody really has too many complaints with that.
Yeah, it just depends on which way your guild's doing.
Yeah.
Currently, if you're going through doing it that way, yes, you probably do get better rewards. But if you're all a free for all, whoever gets it done, everybody solos from 1 to 30, then yes, raid simming is going to be much better for your guild. Yeah.
A couple other good quality of life changes we had. The Territory War Grand Arena Capacity Indicator. This thing is a lifesaver. Trying to plan out our defense, seeing what zones still need team supplied. You don't have to click through each territory. It's just all right there on the map. That's why it wasn't in there to begin with. I don't know, but I'm super glad it's in there now.
Yeah, that, and then the Grand Arena can finally auto-deploy defenses from the get-go, so no more blank defenses.
Right, yeah, that's going to be good. Oh, we talked about muscle memory. Another one that got me was the node simming slider. So this thing now defaults to max energy.
So instead of zero energy or
us superstitious people that like to sim 1 or 2 or 3 at a time. Nope, you're going to do it all.
That's fine. I do about half and half, so it's not too bad for me. And I usually go through and I'm using all the energy I have at one time. So
yeah, the only thing you really got to be careful is if you're doing mod energy and you're just trying to get 1 or 2, mod salvage pieces, you may blow your whole stash of energy not being careful. But we'll get used to it.
Yeah, and then the final thing that was kind of thrown in here was no more random platoons in territory battles. They actually set standard platoons all the way through territory battles now.
This is real nice. It's not great. I mean, there's still some Ebon Hawks in there way high up the platoons, so we're not going to be able to fill those just yet.
But it didn't sound like they were going to rotate them around. It seems like they're going to be like that for the foreseeable future. So I honestly thought they were going to go through. When I read this, I was like, oh man, they took our idea. They're going to go through and basically do a progression 1, 2, 3, and having that final section have some of these pay-to-wall player or characters in there and everything else, and it's just going to trickle down as they go through. But they went a different route. This different route makes me think a new territory battle map is actually should be on the way, because this seems more like a progression to retire this raid for higher end guilds that have been getting 40 plus stars in it for quite a while now.
Yeah, that's what it seems like to me. Like they're getting ready to sunset this, give us something new. So if you want to go back and get these other stars, you can. I think that's where the text and the data mine from guild leaders being able to choose what territory battle they do. I think this is part of that.
And I'm wondering if we're getting to a point in the game, and I wrote this down, where territory battle progression as guilds get stronger. So say you hit a certain star level, and then it unlocks a new set of territory battle maps. So you have to go through and progress from Hoth into another one, and these newer guilds can't just jump into the newest content.
Yeah, that would make sense.
So
or maybe have like a minimum GP you have to hit before it unlocks. Either one.
Well, I don't even think minimum GP, because people will go through and basically stack their guilds to be able to hit that. I think having a progression where you have to go through and a guild has to go through, get so many stars, and then you can decide on which one you want to go into. And go into Hoth and say, oh, we finally have enough GP where we can get 45 stars for Hoth. So we're going to jump in there, get our 45 stars this time around, and then we'll continually run the new one. So
yeah, they had they did have a few other little things here. They implemented the Grand Arena matchmaking improvements that won't have ship GP in there if it's not part of the matchup. A few extra push notifications. So overall, I'm happy with it. It's, for me personally, it's not super life changing, but I'll take any improvement I get. I still want to see that performance mode at some point down the road. That would be pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. For sure. So after all these updates and everything that we've had, I know we did have a few questions and everything that were asked. If we want to go over some of those, you have those written down?
Yeah. Barbarossa / Daidoji asked, I said, hey guys, love you guys, listen to the podcast. Thank you, we love you too. You guys do a great job. As a new player, about 4 months, I would love if you guys did a topic on how you farm gear. As a new player, when do you spend crystals and currency? And how I hoard my gear up, all that. Yeah, it's, like I mentioned, it's such a different game now in the new meta and the new characters and everything.
Well, not even that, just the way this started a snowball effect on like how much the game has changed since we were actually in that position as far as lower end and actually working our way up in the game. Because going through like the challenges we had to go through, there were no sim buttons. We had to go through and manually do it every day. Sundays were horrible, and that progression actually had different gear in it. So you had to choose whether you were farmed Carbantes or I think it was the Mark IV laptops or something like that. It's like you had to decide what gear you were going to farm in challenges. It was amazing on how different the farming was. And I brought up the point when we were discussing this was there weren't that many hard node exclusive farms when we started either. So we had a lot more free energy to actually spend on gearing. Because I would go through, it's like I had Royal Guard's the only one I could really think of that I was actually farming off a specific hard node using a lot of the my normal energy. Everything else went to gear. I just constantly farming gear because that's what you needed. That's what you spent your normal energy on. It wasn't for actually characters in hard node exclusive shards like it is now.
Yeah, I guess really the best advice I could give is just really prioritize what your game goals are and determine if spending crystals for whatever those goals are will get you rewards as a return on investment. So I mean, you can't focus on everything at once in the game. It's unless you're planning on spending a lot of money. You got to set a goal and just stick to it. There's a lot of different systems out there that kind of prioritize new player progression through the game. Warrior's got a good one. He calls his pillar system. Kind of shows you characters in each node and cantina and fleet and wherever to farm and kind of progress you through the unlocking of the legendary and the journey characters. So that's out there. There's a couple of other ones. We'll try to find and post in our Discord. I don't want to plagiarize their stuff, but I do think they have good stuff out there. But yeah, just the characters is going to give you the most return on investment. Your bounty hunters for credit heist, good raid teams. That's going to get you to the top. That's kind of where I focused in my gaming, because the raids traditionally have been a really good source for credits and gear. so I wouldn't have to really farm that much. If you're trying to get a good crystal horde, you need a good PvP team. Placing higher for longer amounts of time, that's really critical.
Yeah, and I mean right now, bounty hunters are very good. Phoenix are very good. Right now, really, any of the old Republic characters would be a good way to go through. But when do you spend crystals and currency? So, as a newer player, and what I would recommend is actually just spending crystals on refreshes. Refreshing Cantina, refreshing your normal energy. Don't worry about gear. There's really no good gear to buy with crystals. You want to go through and just spend it on refreshes. That's the best investment. When it comes to currency, I would spend it on basically my arena team and my raid team that I'm going to get the highest score for in the Rancor and tank and everything, and make sure those are always at max level. And then secondary would be mods. I would be going through and actually using a lot of currency, upgrading mods, and seeing if speed hits, whether it's just taking it up to 9 or 12 just to see if you can get speed, because that's going to be a crucial part of you getting higher up in PvP, getting higher up in raids, are going to be your level of mods and how much you actually spend farming them up and leveling them up to try to find good mods.
Right, especially in early game too, where people haven't quite figured that part of the game out. Mm-hmm. And kind of going back to the crystal and gear farming, our buddies over at Shattered Order have a really good gear, kind of crystal farming guide that they put together. And by the way, we need to hook up soon, guys. Get that Shattered Cantina going again.
Yeah, but yeah, that's the best way I would go through at that point in the game, and kind of go from there. Just go through, keep doing that, keep grinding. Personally, I spent my guild currency and everything, and I would buy stun guns. That would be the one thing that going through that, to me, in a store, buying stun guns out of the guild currency or your guild tokens every once in a while over character shards is worth getting, just because stun guns are they are a bottleneck, they are a pain, and that will be a sticking point for pretty much every character you need to gear. So that's and maybe stun cuffs. Stun cuffs don't seem to be as bad anymore. I know there's characters that do require more than others depending on what team you're gearing at the time, but those are the two pieces of gear that I always look for in the guild stores.
Yeah, I pretty much always buy those too. Let's see. Well, speaking of spending more credits, Darth Big Dog wants to know, what does everyone think of the probability of a level cap increase in the next 2 quarters? I've been beating the level cap increase drum for a while now, and if I keep beating it, eventually it's going to come true, but I still think it's pretty likely, and if we get a new territory battle map, even more likely.
I honestly don't think it's likely if a territory battle map comes out, because there's no real incentive or need to actually gear up characters or level up characters for a territory battle for the way it's laid out.
Well, no, if you make it more difficult, you make the required characters, unused or ungeared characters people are going to have to use, and put a really awesome bonus character toward the end of it, people will want to gear up and get ready for it.
I honestly think it'll be the next raid. I was really surprised the level cap didn't happen with the Sith raid, because a raid to me is a perfect time to add a level cap increase, because that goes through, and the way you're actually going through and setting up the raid and setting the difficulty and setting the bar, it is extremely difficult, and only top guilds will be able to do it when you're at a lower level of characters, and then as people rush to level up, gear up their characters, it makes the raid more accessible. It's still difficult, but a little bit easier to do, and they'll actually get more people to spend that way over a territory battle map.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I would prefer a raid over a new territory battle map, but hey, why not both?
Yeah. Oh, no, both would be perfect. I could see that happening. I just see when you're trying to monetize it and put that much effort into rebalancing a lot of the characters by having that level cap increase, that is a lot of work, and you're going to want to go through and see the cost benefit that you put into it. You're going to want to see a return on that, and a territory battle, to me, does not get you that, where a raid would, because people would rush because they want to be the first one to get that brand new 7-star character. They want to be the first people to get those new gear pieces on and get that benefit from doing that, so they'll spend money to rush and get to those new levels and new gear.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I think we'd have to see new tables too. New tiers.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be cool.
No, it would not be cool, Stan. Shut your mouth, because that would be more nodes at a higher energy cost.
What, you don't want a 30 energy node? Come on.
Oh, yes, I want a 30 energy node to farm. Like, the 20 energy node isn't fun enough. Oh, man.
All right. I'm going to put my conspiracy...
Stop putting that in their head. Oh.
Well, I'm going to put my tinfoil hat on for a minute, too. A lot of late game players have really saved up a ton of credits. I mean, you do get to a certain point where there's not a whole lot to spend it on. So 50, 100 million credits is not as uncommon as you would think. So I think they see that out there and they want to start getting rid of that. I am seeing a lot more mods show up with 5 speed showing. So I used to maybe buy 1 or 2 mods a week. Now I'm buying sometimes 3 a day just on credits. So I'm again, complete tinfoil conspiracy theory, but I'm wondering if they're kind of upping the drop rate of those in the store to get people to start burning through some of these credits.
It might be that, or just the mere fact, or the simple fact that they know Arena and a lot of the differentiation between teams right now are strictly down to mods. And if people aren't getting those speed mods dropping, or even having the chance for them to hit, they're going to drop the game, because there's no way for them, and they don't see progress of what they're working on to actually get better in the game, and they're getting beat down just because they can't get the RNG for these mods.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, that kind of reminds me, we talked when 6.mods came out, we talked about kind of rebalancing speed out of the equation, and that still hasn't happened. I don't know what it's going to take to not make speed just the only stat people care about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they seem to be... I'm kind of curious to see Darth Revan, to see how they are designing him to be modded. Honestly, because they seem to be going through and trying to take the priority off speed. So they've been going through and having these specifically modded up for different... or requiring different mods to get the best out of the character. So
yeah, like Droideka, they specifically targets speed and gives you advantage for being slower. So you'll probably see more of that.
Yep, for sure. I mean, same way with Bastilla Shan Fallen came out, that everybody discovered if you went through and through a very tough defensive set on Darth Traya, you could actually get around Jedi Knight Revan then. And Jedi Knight Revan those Jedi just took forever trying to get blast through Traya that way.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that covers the listener questions. We mentioned Droideka, looking at our marquee watch, may be able to buy them out of shipments here in a few weeks. Looks like we have B1 going into shipments March 28th, which is right around the corner. Mm-hmm. And Droideka following a week later. And these have been hitting a little earlier, so possibly this week.
Well, we don't really know. After Juhani and Karth, I mean, we really haven't had any marquee characters for a while, so they might be trying to draw these out just to kind of build up their catalog again. of characters in the Marquee Watch.
Yeah, it's the grind is. I'm seeing light at the end of the tunnel. I mean, it's not going to happen, but there's a slim possibility I could actually finish farming every character in the game as soon as Galactic Chases come back, if they come back in a regular fashion,
or if they come back. Period. Who knows?
Yeah. We don't know.
We'll see how that goes. But yeah, speaking of things you're bumping and grinding on. Who you working on?
Man, I am saving everything for Darth. I can take out Gamguard now and actually put Darth Revan in there. So I am preparing that team. Just saving up stun guns and cuffs and Carbantes. I think I'm up to four stun guns and 14 Carbantes.
Okay, yeah.
So
you're well on your way there.
We're getting there.
I have 14 salvage of stun guns.
So many people need stun guns. It's. Yeah, I was looking at Ness when you were talking about her. She still needs 3 stun guns just to get her to gear 12.
So fun at gear 12.
So fun. Yeah. Hard node, I am down to B-28, the Extinction Bomber, and I am dutifully farming that. I'm up to 79 of 100. So I'm going to 7-star the B-28.
Hey, you got to have goals, right?
Well, it's not a goal, but it's happening. Cantina, there's nothing there. Come on, B1, please drop on Cantina node. Fleet battle, still working on Annie's ship, 67 to 85. No rush there at all. And then just waiting on Galactic Chases, finish up Emperor Shuttle and Ibn Hawk.
Yeah, I'm in a little bit different. I mean, I'm starting to see that light at the end of the tunnel just because I have a lot of characters getting there like 65 of 100, 85 of 100 that I had to go through and abandon for Darth Revan or abandon for this or that. Lando, Holdo, Django. There's a handful of characters. So I'm starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel as soon as Darth Revan goes by because I'll be able to go through and quickly knock out 3 or 4 characters at 7 stars. But as far as the farming goes, man, I went through, I've been working on the Darth Revan needed team, the required characters, and have been working them up to gear 10. I said I was going to hold off on gearing them at all. Then they came in and said it was going to be a very, very difficult event. And went through, I'm like, my horde of gear, if I don't go through and actually spend some of it and kind of see where the characters are at to find the gear bottlenecks, I'm going to run into issues. So I went through and geared up HK-47's the gear 10, Bastilla Shan Fallen's the gear 10, and Karth is gear 10 right now. And I'm working on Karth and Juhani to get them up there also. But it did go through and highlight my lack of stun guns, really, is what it highlighted for me to get them up to gear 10. But we're working on it. Hard node. I said I was on pace for Juhani. I am currently at 0 of 100. So she is 6 stars. And I went through just last week. I was kind of doing numbers to see how my farming was going. I got 67 shards last week. And at that pace, it leaves me needing 11 more days to 7-star Juhani without having to buy any shards. Cantina still farming away at Aura, just slowly but surely. I'll get her done. And then Karth, I'm at 55 of 85 currently. I got 62 shards last week. And at that pace, I'll need 15 days to 7-star that character without buying anything from the shipment. So I'm right there on that borderline edge. So not a huge crystal investment, it seems like, in order to buy the rest of those shards needed to get that character up to 7 stars in time for the projected end of the Darth Revan event.
Yeah, sounds like you're looking good, and I hope everybody out there on your last stretch of Panic Farm is looking good too. Get ready to get yourself a Darth Revan. if the event comes out. It may be the next 2 weeks. We don't know, but probably this week.
Yeah, and speaking of going through of things you can buy to get that Darth Revan event, I mean, for less than the price of a Heroes Legends pack, so you can get your Juhani, your Bastilla, Canderous, or Karth. Oh. You can get this beautiful book I found on Amazon, The Beautiful Poetry of Donald Trump.
Oh, politics aside, he definitely has a way with words.
I have to go through and read the description. The author found a revelation by simply taking the President of the United States tweets and transcripts, cutting them up and reordering them. Series unearthed a beautiful trove of beautiful verses that is just waiting to be discovered. It's I don't know.
It's something.
You can get the audio version.
Get the audio book. Oh, hey, real quick before we go, let's talk about these Old Republic Legends packs. Man, the way they put these together kind of sucks.
You expected anything less?
I didn't, but it still sucks.
Yeah, it does. I would have went through and possibly bought the one if it had Juhani and Karth in it, but not the way they split it up. I don't need those other two. They've been 7-star for a while now, so.
Yeah, so if you weren't paying attention, they put one easy character with one hard character, so you basically have to buy both of them to get what you need.
What, you can buy HK-47 on his own.
Well, yeah, but if you don't have HK on now, but you know it's okay. That being said, that HK is not that bad a deal. I mean, if you want some shard shot currency, if you need it, 12 Omegas.
I honestly
not
think
Omegas. I'm sorry, the purple mats. 12 Omegas. I think I'd buy it automatically.
I think that's an old pack. I'm pretty sure HK-47 had something at some sort of droid event that we had way from a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away.
Yep. Okay, let's get far away from here. This panic room's starting to smell.
Well, you know, there's a lot of panicking going on here.
There is. The room can only handle so much panicking, or we got to power wash it.
That's right. So let's wrap this up and get on out of here.
All right. Y'all know the deal we say every episode. Leave us a review. I haven't really seen any reviews in a while, or if ever. I think I'd look those up, see how our stats are looking.
Yeah, we have some in there.
Yeah, it just seems like, I don't know, it just seems like things have been kind of in a lull lately. We gotta amp the community up. Get everybody excited again. Come on, let's get that Canteen of Vizsla love out there. Woo, yeah. Okay. Email us at canteenofvizsla@gmail.com. Find us on Discord. We got a link in the show notes. Shout out to all our new members that have joined lately. Check us out on thealliancegaming.com with all the other great content creators out there. And if so inclined, please check us out at patreon.com/canteenofvizsla. Tip jar is getting kind of dusty, to be honest with you. It's kind of drying up there. If y'all have some ideas for Patreon tiers or things you'd like to see, man, let us know. Y'all are the community. We're just two guys with microphones that like to talk, and we're here for you. So let us know what you want to see.
Yeah, for sure. Love interacting with you. Get on there. Let us know. I try to go through and incorporate as much of everybody's opinions that we can into the show. Sometimes they don't happen as quickly just because of timing and not having enough time, but I'm working on it, I swear.
Yeah.
So, until next time, guys. Later. As you are exiting the cantina, we would like to say thanks for stopping by, and we hope to see you out on the holo table soon.